Welcome to the Imperial Kingdom. Today we can talk about Conor McGregor and Terrence Bud Crawford, the number one pound for pound boxing fighter who's been pound for pound for 7 years straight. 7 years straight running. That is crazy. That is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And Bud Crawford came from 140 pounds and stepped up to the plate after taking out Errol Spence, who was a big fish in that division, in 147 division. He then moved up, dealt with Madrimov, the champ, and then climbed up all the way, skipping divisions, to 168, super middleweight, to meet one of the strongest elite boxers in the game in Canelo Alvarez. Cinnamon. Canelo. Yes, Mr. Cinnamon. And let's just say, if ever there was a super feat, that was it. Now, Bud Crawford recently has been getting in spats with the UFC champ on the other side. And that dude, who was the champ, Tapir, has been dissing Crawford, has been dissing Shakur, and said he could beat both of them together at the same time. He said, I'll take both of you out at the same time. That is crazy. That is crazy. I mean, that is absolutely crazy. Crazy meaning outlandish challenge. That is an outland. Shakur Stevenson is one of the top 10 pound for pound fighters in the game right now in boxing. Yeah, could be top 5. Definitely one of the top upper echelons of the pound for pounders right now. And Bud Crawford, we already know. Now, Ilya had 18-0 in UFC. UFC is MMA, martial arts, mixed martial arts. And I understand that, because obviously I'm a martial artist. But we have to understand the realities of the game and know how to break it down. See, at the time he was 18-0, Tapira, saying that. But Bud's record is even way higher than that. And Bud is absolutely destructive. We're talking about destructive boxing. He took people out straight, like 11 KOs straight, 11 stoppages straight at one point. And he was even moving up. He was fighting the super elites, the best of the best available. Absolutely demolishing them, eliminating them. So Conor McGregor now, who's a martial artist now, MMA fighter, now intercepts and says, hey, don't talk about fighters like this. They get in the ring, they get in the cage, and sometimes they get in the ring, and none of you get into the boxing ring. None of you get into the MMA octagon. But the reality is, there is money in MMA, obviously. There is money in martial arts. But there is much more in a boxing ring. The amount of money, the amount of actual funds, we're talking about the astronomical numbers, is in boxing right now. And has been for years. The UFC is a $1 billion enterprise. Obviously, we know that. But they literally monopolize the funds. We're talking about the executives, the CEOs. They take the bulk of it. And the fighters get just peanuts in comparison. Still good money in terms of comparison to the rest of the world. What they get, what they walk away with. Okay money, as in living. And only the very top of them get a little squeeze in the 1 million, possibly 2 millions, and now we're hearing a little bit more. But fighters at the top exceed that, way exceed that. So there's no need. Why would we expect MMA fighters to be able to pull the boxers over to that side while the boxers are getting this much? Let's be real now. It's just not happening. And if we want to talk about straight fight for fight, if we lock both of them in a room, Conor McGregor, but there's no way. I mean, naturally you'd want to say, well, it should be Conor McGregor. He's no pussy. He was a very good striker in the game. But you can't compare the striking of an actual boxer to an MMA fighter. A boxer, this is what he does. He strike. That's all he does. Move, strike. You know, when I say that's all he does, that's the primary function of the attack mode. Of course, there are many other things going on in the machinery. But when we're talking about attack mode, when it's time to hit, it's with these. And a boxer, in general, I'm talking generally. Doesn't mean there can't be one guy here, one guy there who is able to find a way with a boxer, but you'll have to be like this kind of guy, because we know the real martial arts is very different from the one that's taught nowadays. So boxing would just be an aspect of that. But we're talking about someone like Bud Crawford. Oh boy. No. I don't see how Conor McGregor's going to beat him. What's he going to do? He's wrestling. Conor McGregor's wrestling is super elite. I've seen him wrestling. And we've all seen him wrestling with various strong people, including some of those Kazakhs from the national team, wrestling team. And Bud also has super elite strength. When we talk about all the grappling and all this, man, you're talking about a 140 guy who moved up to dethrone Canelo. You think that's just normal strength? You think that's just regular guy strength? We hear a man strength. This one is a different type. Some people just have something else in their department. You know, natural born. Like David Haye, for example, natural born banger. You just know this guy bangs. He born like that. I heard his father was one type of karate guy, I believe, or something. I was talking to him one time. I'm not certain. I believe he was into karate. But some things are just genetic. You know, Crawford is strong. You know, super strong. You know, when he was a kid, his mom used to go at him and encourage that. You know, give him rough and tumble. You know, get other folk on him, on his case, to try and, you know, fake bully him or something. And made him strong in many ways from childhood. You know, the body responds differently when you're very young. And he's grown up like that. So his mind works in conjunction with that. And my dude is so strong, Crawford. How are you going to box blow for blow with Canelo coming from 140? How you gonna and Canelo got buckled in the last round. He was buckled. He saw his legs went. That's crazy. And don't get it twisted, he's a dog, man. And he's a legit champion. He's a legit champion. He ain't no pussy. It's just that Crawford is just phenomenal. Yeah. That doesn't make Canelo a pussy. That's just Crawford is phenomenal. We're talking Canelo here. Let any of you amongst that weight try and go play with Canelo and see what happens to you. Even Bivol, as bad as Bivol is, Bivol's a whole division higher than Canelo. Canelo had Bivol on his shoulders like this. On his shoulders. One shoulder, not both shoulders. One shoulder, hands out, arm out. So don't think Canelo's just any old little small boy. No. That's who Crawford dealt with. So let's not get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Crawford is a bad, super bad boy when it comes to, and he's disciplined. He has 12 round, obviously. 12 round. elite boxer. 12 round stamina. He go for 12 rounds. He goes for 12 rounds. Every average boxer does, obviously. But we're talking the elite ones now. So that's even on top of that. That means he's doing 12 rounds with elite boxers, people who are depleting your stuff. They're not just regular folk. They know how to take it out of you. And he's always been a comfortable 12 rounder, no matter who is. So you're talking about these MMA guys. They can't play with someone like Crawford at all. I don't care what you do. He's striking. He'll take you out. Conor, and fortunately they're about the same weight division. Crawford would take him out. He would rinse him out. Let's not be biased. This is a martial art appraisal here. So we're not talking from biased position. We're talking straight up fighting. There is no way that there's nothing Conor McGregor can do that Bud doesn't have the answer to. You want to talk wrestling? You want to talk striking? You want to talk grappling? What do you want to say? Conor's going to kick him? Please. Bud said that about kicking just being humble. Because why am I going to go to MMA from boxing and then jeopardize, even if I win, I'm talking from Bud's perspective, even if he wins a fight, I'm talking of beforehand. What if he comes back and is injured? He was planning for a fight with Spence. What if you come back and your legs hurt from your victory? And now it's a different type of hurt because it's affecting your fight, your boxing career. Usually it's just no point. It's just a pointless exercise. Like you better know what you're doing if as a boxer going into MMA. But from MMA into boxing is fine in terms of those same issues. It's absolutely fine. So I'm for both MMA and boxing. I love both sides, both camps, in terms of what they are, what they represent, not in terms of how they're managed. How they're managed by the overall, governing bodies and executives is pure corruption. Let's be straight. Pure corruption. It's just perverse the way they run it. It's absolutely perverse. But if we're talking about who wins a fight, Bud Crawford or Conor McGregor, Conor's gonna have his stuff. Nobody's calling him a pussy. We know he's the Mac. We know how he goes and how he gets down. But what we're saying is, unless you don't know who Bud is, that's your only excuse if you don't know. But if you know Bud, as far as if you follow his career or you go and watch it back, you know there's nothing they could do to him. And if you've known him throughout these periods of his career, if you've been watching him since, not just in his boxing, everything around him, you know how he is. You understand? It's just not happening. It's not happening. You're not you're gonna kick? What kick? What are you talking about? You think a boxer doesn't know how to defend himself? Oh, he's gonna need to be trained special. No, man. All it means is there's no referee to stop him now. All those things that boxers do in the ring when they're breaking the rules, and the referee says, "No, don't do this." Now there's no ref to stop him. Because you're telling him basically he can go ahead and do the other stuff that he would not naturally do. Just the average rough boxer. What do you think a boxer is? Some sweet, clean, everything good, goody two shoes boy. Is that what you think? Where they've come from? Where have most boxers come from? The street dude, not all street dude, but a rough dude. Let's call it a rough dude. Even if you're Prince William, Prince Harry from a royal family, if you're inclined to go into boxing, this kid was a rough kid. Yeah, rough meaning he's rough and tumble kid. Doesn't mean a bad kid. I'm talking about rough. His natural physical inclination. So you're a boxer. The only difference is that the boxing discipline and coaching would now streamline it and give you rules and regulations. So now there's certain things you won't do in the ring, but they still try and do it anyway. It's just the ref stops them. Now you're telling him you can do what you want. Please. There's nothing he can do. And of course, Conor's still McGregor is still McGregor. Conor's still McGregor. No one's saying he's a pussy. But we're doing an unbiased comparison here. Trust me, it's not happening. Bud will finish him. If you know Bud, he will take him out. He will absolutely take him out. His striking is just something else too. Especially someone truly his own weight division. Are you crazy? You must be crazy. Imperial Kingdom. Let's go.